You mentioned The Social Dilemma. You watched that, right?
Yeah, it was
Did
wild.
you happen to watch that?
First half.
Yeah.
First half. Okay. Uh, the call out culture, cancel culture, what you said about like the tweets and like there's a sense of community on social media that people don't feel alone, right? You feel like where in the past it used to be like about fandom, but now it's like, oh, I don't want this person coming to my school. I'm reading this book called The Coddling of the American Mind. You ever heard of it?
That's a hilarious title.
Yo, I read the book, the first half. The first I'm in the process of reading it a second time, and it's because the first time, bro, I'll be honest with you, I kind of just like half-assed it, and then I was like, yo, I feel like there's a lot here I need to break down. So now I'm reading it again. I'm about 100 pages in. Just the basis of it is it's in the title, The Coddling of the American Mind, and I can't recommend this book enough, dude. It's about like how our parents and grandparents set up the millennials, Gen Zs, basically be soft because it's the coddling. Like you know, like Serge is allergic to peanut butter. Well, then no one at the school should have peanut butter. You know, CJ, you don't like at the end of the national anthem "In God We Trust." Well, then that's not the national anthem anymore. You know, it's like it's things like that. Or if a speaker comes in and they're like super controversial, there'll be riots on the campus. Like, yo, fuck that guy. Don't bring him in here. And it goes back to the cancel culture. So, like, when you saw A Social Dilemma, what was your, like, takeaway from it?
Fear.
Fear.
Yeah, I was scared. Like, you have all these industry heads talking about what they've created, and they didn't expect that to happen. They were just trying to help, But it kind of took a turn for the worse because, like you said, we look for this kind of opt-out, whether that be through social media or, trying to find an excuse to say something. And, the social media platforms that be kind of provide that, for all these people that are, I don't even know, man. It's scary. It's scary as fuck. Like, to be honest, like if I couldn't describe my entire takeaway, it's terrifying, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's terrible for mental health. You can't really, it's uncensored, or you don't know what's being censored. It's back and forth. You don't know what's real. Everybody's a journalist. You're doing things based as peer pressure.
Right.
So it's just like, it's really wild. That was kind of my takeaway from it.
How about you, Serge? What did you feel like when you were watching it?
Yeah, so I mean, right, you have people who created these platforms. They said that they didn't know where they would be going, and it's kind of twofold, right? It's like when you create a platform for other people, you're not necessarily setting all of the strict guidelines and rules. You might have a framework that people, do what they have to do within, but, it's for them. You created a platform for people, and you look at people, at human nature, right? Things evolve. You take this company, you raise a whole bunch of capital, right? And then now you have to maintain revenue, right? And how are you going to do that? You have to get more and more users. You have to create more and more things for them to be doing. But for the most part, you want to create the framework, take a little step back and see what they do with it. And so regardless of them saying, we weren't sure that this would ever happen, now we're super against it. First and foremost, they're paid already, So of course
it's easier for you to say that
yeah.
after you just banked 7-8 figures.
It's significantly easier for you to talk about how
I'm talking about like the lower end guys, not the head honchos.
But exactly, you created this thing, you reaped the benefits of it, and now you're seeing the destruction it caused. When on day one, when you were creating a platform, what did you think was going to happen? People were going to come in and be buddy, and talk about the flowers and butterflies and shit. No,
Cats.
Right? It's like a lot of things fuel energy, right? Especially negativity, You know, that fuels a lot of the most energy, right? It's like things that go absolutely viral. You look at the trending topics on Twitter most of the time, right? Brutal.
Yeah, it's
absolutely
rough.
brutal.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, even now, bro, like you see someone you're a fan of, you're like, fuck, what'd he say?
Yeah, bro.
We're in the
Your stomach drops.
Yeah, you're like,
Exactly.
oh fuck, or you think like, you know, they like passed away or some shit.
Yeah.
Like I see Ric Flair trending, I'm like, oh my god, what
Yo,
happened?
that happened to me too. When
I'm like, yo, did he say some like wild racist shit? Did he like get sick because he's been in and out the hospital too the last couple of years? And you're like, all right, thank God it's like National Woo Day or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, all right.
That's crazy though.
Yo,
you
think
know?
about it, bro. Back in the day when social media first started, like you dreamed of if you were building a brand, you're like, yo, I hope one day I see Culture Hub trending.
Yeah.
Like I made it. Now it's like if it's trending at first, you'd be like, fuck, yo, did someone write some wild shit and we're about to get canceled? That's really like what it's really come down to. Yo, I felt a little bit different with Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
My legit takeaway, bro, duh. I'm not even trying to be funny. Like, I watched that and my mom was like, oh my God, we're on our phones too much. I'm like, yeah, no shit. Like, first of all, for the thing that I do, the thing that you guys do, we're both kind of in, like, we're on the same road, but in different lanes.
Yeah.
We kind of want people on their phones.
Yeah. Easily. I mean, do you like fuck with being on your phone all day?
I like it, man.
I love it.
Yeah, I'm on my phone a lot. I'm in like 6 to 8 hours, roughly, give or take. Other days is like when it's like football Sunday, I'm like at 10, 11. I'm checking DraftKings. I'm checking my fantasy team. I'm checking Twitter, like who got hurt, this and that, crazy shit. Creeping on like Instagram chicks as well. You know, gotta throw that in there on Sundays, the Lord's Day.
The Lord's
But yeah, man, like I'm watching that, and I think it's a little different for us because like this is our field and this is our bread getter. Like we want to cause traffic and people to your website, my show, my brand. So for me, and I think we have different perspectives because none of that surprised me. Like I know people are on their phones a lot. I know people are drawn to negativity. I was telling CJ this before we started recording. Bro, I remember when I was young, I go upstairs, my mom's watching the news, and like 12 minutes in, she's in tears. I'm like, what's wrong with you? It's like, oh, some kid got found in a shoebox. This guy got shot. They robbed the bank. Like, it's just chaos in the first 12. They're not going to tell you about the dude that donated 100K to some foundation.
Absolutely not.
Because that doesn't sell.
You want to know what's crazy? That's why I love the movie Anchorman, yo. You know why? Because it kind of calls that out heavy. You know, like, first thing we learn, you know, especially like majoring in journalism, first thing they teach us is like, if it bleeds, it leads. Always. So all that negativity, that's what they push on people constantly, because you're going to engage with it. It's proven through statistics every single day. All their ratings that they get in, you know? So they're trying to find the house fire that randomly happened in Long Island while there was maybe 100 other fires throughout New York State, you know, that they couldn't get to because it's just impossible. You know, it's instead of picking that feel-good story, normally they only have one feel-good story, right? Which is weird. It should be all feel-good stories and maybe one terrible, terrible story. People die every day. It's a part of life. It's the cycle, you know? And it's crazy that people are so, like, attracted to that more than life itself and living. People are more attracted to death than actual life. And it's crazy. Like, you know?
I think people like to be shook.
Yeah.
Right? It's like Citizen app. I remember when it first dropped, I had it on my phone for I'm not even joking, 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at my phone and I'm standing outside and I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I need to go back inside. This is wild.
Yo,
right?
this might be a stupid question. Is that like
No such thing.
is that's not just a New York thing, is it? Citizen app?
It's everywhere. I think.
It's everywhere.
It might be everywhere, but it's definitely going off in New York, right?
Yeah.
Because there's just so much happening.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, it is kind of crazy that these things are happening 2-3 blocks away from you and you'll just never know, you know, because life goes on.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think like that. But the Citizen app, you know, people or the reason or one big reason why I think it blew up in major cities is because of that. It's, you know, people want to be at the crib and know what's happening all around them.
wild.
You know, people are addicted to knowing what's happening. You know,
wild.
it's
They want to know everything.
everything
For me-
outside of their lives.
Yeah.
Right. It's like it may affect their lives, maybe, you know, but more times than not, they're just, that's why they love social. They're trying to see what everyone else is doing. What are people posting?
Yeah.
You know, what's this? What's happening here? What's happening there? You know, so.
You know that the kind of plus side to social media is that people don't realize that like you can actually curate your digest.
I'm glad you mentioned that because there's always immediately, like even us, right? Like we kind of are hypocrites about critiquing the news when we fucking just talked about the negatives of social media. So I'm glad that you said the positives.
Yeah. You know, I love to, like, what I intake in my brain is hella curated.